Okay, so I come on here. I do a lot of. There's some videos I post, and it just seems like that's all I do is complain. But mind you, the amount of stuff I've gone through, venting's always good. It's healthy. Um, I still struggle with just allowing the whole concept of just to release, let things go, and let them fall into place, or the trust in, you want to call it, the divine universe itself, and just trust that things are going to work out the way things are supposed to, regardless of how things are going, regardless of what other people are doing, because that's on them. Even if they're going to make certain things difficult for me, that's still out of my control. So, as much as I want to document it, it's not much I can do about what they are doing. That's their karma, that's on them, that's their responsibility, that's what they have to deal with later. And even if it's making things more difficult for me, I just got to keep focusing on what it is that I can do for myself. So the whole idea of like allowing, it's like a surrender. It's just like a, you know what? Let people do whatever they're going to do. And instead of fighting them or focusing so much on them, because clearly that's what they want is my attention, and or to have me not speak about certain things. But the more I focus on them, the less I'm paying attention to what it is I'm supposed to be doing. So right now I'm just cataloging all my artwork and getting it down into a book, and then I'm probably going to update my website or whatever, and just focus on what I'm supposed to be doing right now. For almost the majority of the summer, I spent a good portion of it worrying so much or retaliating or doing whatever, dealing with these people. And it was kind of like a waste, but it's a good lesson as well. I think the hardest part for me in surrendering to anybody that is, we'll say, bullying me or anything like that is because I dealt with it for so long that it's almost like now as an adult, I almost want to stand up for my inner child. I want to be there for them. I want to, my inner child. I want to be able to like kind of defend her. But then at the same time, I got to realize that the best thing I could possibly do is to focus on my life and not give a fuck about the people that are hating on me, because it really is a waste of time. If they wanted truly to understand me and get to know me, because I know there's some people that hate, but that actually admire at the same time. But the only reason they're hating is because they don't know how to rationalize it within their own head of why they feel a certain emotion. So instead of trying to think about that, they would rather just act out of impulse and do cruel things, which I still have yet to comprehend in my own head how that works, but some people struggle with that. And they, instead of voicing it outright that they admire somebody, they would rather just hate on them. I don't know if that's easier. I would assume using your energy to hate on a person takes a lot more out of you, actually, than it would just simply saying, hey, I like what you're doing, or hey, I like how you see that view. I don't agree with everything, but I like that, Like I would assume that's a lot less energy, but I don't know everything. And I'm not perfect. Not once in my entire 35 years, yes, that's how old I am, my entire 35 years, not once have I ever turned to somebody or even made a video or anything like that stating, I'm perfect. Not once have I ever said that. Anybody that assumes that's how I feel about myself, I'm going to tell you right now from my mouth, that's not how I view myself. In fact, I've been the most difficult on myself, beside my own family and stuff like that. But I've been one of the most, like my own critic. And I'm hard on myself, and I do expect quite a bit from myself, and I do hold myself to high standards, and I do raise the bar constantly, and I'm constantly in competition with myself. One, it's really healthy, it's fun for me. I like to challenge myself on a regular basis. I like to outdo myself here and there, and I also like to learn new stuff. So I'm never in competition with other people around me. I'm never in competition with people that are in my field or anything like that, or that do art as well. I've seen some amazingly talented artists, and they focus all their heart, soul, and energy just into their painting. And for that, they are phenomenal. And I have no problem praising them for that and giving them the kudos for that, or whatever you want to call it. Me, I like to do a little bit of everything. I get bored easily. My brain works really quickly, so I like to do different stuff. So I'm multi-talented. I like lots of different things, and I also like to try to master the things that I'm good at. Why? Because that's what I want for myself. So if you ever find yourself, in that state of comparison, yourself to another, just ask yourself, one, how far you have come, and two, what new things do you want to learn? What new things do you want to challenge yourself with? What can you do to better your situation, or maybe even improve on some of the skills you already have? Or maybe bust out them old paintbrushes and bring out the canvas and start painting something for yourself. You'd be amazed the inspiration that comes from bringing out old talents that you have. Or if you haven't played the piano or an instrument in a long time and it's just sitting away in a closet, bring it out of the closet. Play the instrument. Learn something new. The internet's got an abundance of things you can learn. Some stuff I've never even heard of. And some stuff they just keep, more things developing as we grow as a collective. Because we are all connected, even though we don't always want to admit it. And even the people that give me a hard time, they are supposed to be teaching me a lesson. And I think more than anything, I just want my peace. But I also am not going to conform. I'm not just going to do traditional shit, and I'm not just going to follow the masses and put my head down. That's not my personality. That's not who I am. That's not my light. I'm meant to showcase myself and my talents and to put stuff out there. And if it bothers you specifically, then that's because you feel that you're not doing it yourself. So you'd rather hate on me for it, which is not okay. Because we all have talents, gifts, and abilities. And I've stated this several times. We all are capable of doing something. I don't care who you are. Even if it's knowing the genus or species of specific ants, or knowing wildflowers by name, the biological names to it, like the, what do you call that? The Latin root names of them. Or you can memorize and cite specific actors or movie titles or something. Whatever it is, everybody's got something. Even if it's just knowing different kinds of rocks and stuff. Find out what it is that you like. Focus on that the next time that you want to compare yourself to somebody else. If you feel like a failure because somebody in your life, mainly family, has made you feel like a failure because they feel like they failed themselves, and so on and so forth, it was like passed down to them. That negative projection of not fulfilling your dreams and hopes and stuff like that, and then feeling like you failed in some way, and then passing that on to the next person to make them feel like a ball of shit. That's not okay. End the cycle. Why don't you stand up and be a cycle breaker? Why don't you say, you know what? No, I'm not going to sweep this under the rug and just ignore it. Or no, I'm going to voice my opinion about this from now on. Or, yeah, I'm going to voice my opinion. Or, you know what, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do something. Even though I'm, let's say, a mother with 4 children or something, I'm going to do something with my life. I'm going to start up the hobby I really like or so. I'll make the time, even if it's 15 minutes for myself. I don't care. Whatever it is, be the one to stand up and break the cycles. Cycles are things we do on a continual basis, and a lesson is not being learned, and we just go in circles and circles and circles. Yes, other people are going to try to have an influence on certain other people, and they do everything possible to mess with those cycles. That's going to be on them, because that's not going to last forever. People can only hold up things for so long, and the truth always comes out. And when the truth comes out and you've been doing something to a specific person, let's say for years, that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. There's going to be a heavy amount of karma piled on from the decades past. But why? Then you got to ask yourself, why would you spend decades ritually sabotaging somebody's life so that they can't achieve anything or reach a certain precipice in their life or gain any sort of, generally people like that are targeted, those are the people that are willing to share their abundance. More than likely, those are the people willing to turn around and share it with the people around them that are deserving. So either you don't believe you're deserving of it, and that's why you keep doing it, or you never ever had that cross your thought. It was just pure competition, unhealthy competition, unbeknownst to the person that you're attacking. Stop and ask yourself certain questions. The self-accountability really needs to come into play. I currently am finding my state in certain things that I got to ask myself about. I got to ask myself certain questions and stuff like that. Because though I've done my healing, it continues. I still keep learning. I don't just stop learning.